Today's episode is entitled The UK Immigration Shaker, What Starmer's Labour Means for Ghanaians and Sponsorship Pathways.
Relocation agents target not only people in Africa, but also the African diaspora in the UK. I'm on my way to the Midlands to meet the victims of an alleged scammer called Nana Akwesi Ajiman-Prempeh. Multiple accusations against him have been posted online, and I'm keen to find out more.
Hi, Mabel. Hi, good morning.
Had to travel from far?
Yes,
Come on in. I'm cooking something in the kitchen. You can join me.
Okay.
I've lived here for 19 years.
That's a long time. Why did you leave Ghana?
Oh, was this too adventurous, I guess. I got a working holiday visa to come here. Because I was trying to join the army back home. And my parents won't let me, so I let them know I joined the army after.
In the UK?
Yeah.
Mabel told me Nana had duped several people in the UK's Ghanaian community who were looking for jobs for their friends and family back home. Nana had offered them relocation packages, including a valid COS, a visa, and a job. But none of those materialized.
It's so difficult to make the kind of money this man has taken from people. When he speaks to you, you would think he's an angel. This is Nana Jim I'm talking about. If you haven't had this kind of encounter with him, when someone tells you he did this, you will not believe it.
Mabel had been in touch with other victims of Nana and invited them to join us for lunch.
Hi, Brian. Ronke. Thank you so much for coming.
I'm particularly curious how much Nana has made of everyone on this table.
Oh, 35,000.
£35,000.
£12,000.
£12,000 from you, and from Abigail, 4,000. And Brian?
Yeah, £16,000.
Guys, that's £67,000.
Just from us.
From everyone here.
From the story boy.
When he had the discussion with you guys, did he say that you're paying for this certificate of sponsorship?
Mine, he didn't. When I questioned it, he just said, oh, it's not the COS that we're selling, it's the package. So,
Yes, that's the word, package.
So latest money, accommodation, to give you some weird explanation.
Nana had also promised them an introduction fee for every person they referred to him.
I met Nana through...
They now hugely regret it, but I still have to ask them about it.
at the time, he kept saying, oh, my agency is now offering £1,000 for anybody that recruits for us. I work as a nurse in the hospital. I know agencies do have these kind of incentives. They give you $250, some of 500.
When you recommend.
Yes, so it's a normal thing. But with Nana...
But as they discovered, Nana sold them fake documents, mostly cheap copies of real COSs issued by care homes.
He's already issued 3. 2 of them has the same serial numbers, and I thought, no, let me go back. Is there any system that you can verify? Of course, I went on gov.co. and there was a system like that. I put it in and it says invalid. That was when I started to panic. And by that time, I have sent Nana that amount of money.
£35,000.
Realizing they had been duped, the group were now under pressure to repay the friends and family they had introduced to Nana.
It's really unfair, seriously.
Their relationships have been severely affected. This made me realize just how far-reaching the scam is, how it can break apart communities and even families.
My uncle called me that a guy says that I've taken his money.
That's one of the people who
Yes,
paid
one of the people,
for
yes, who
COS.
paid to Nana. I couldn't sleep, seriously. And it gave me a lot of depression, seriously. I was down. Paid off some of the money, but...
How much have you paid?
For now, I paid 6,000.
I've paid 22,000.
From your pocket?
Yeah, for mine. It's just not right. When I think of it, to think money that I haven't spent it. You know, I borrowed money from my uncle. And then now, because of that, my family, including my own mother, we don't talk. Don't talk because of what? Somebody's stupidity. Why?
It's okay.
Welcome to the Diaspora Hustle, where we decode the policies, politics, and pathway that shape the global African experience, especially for our Ghanaian community at home and abroad. And today's topic is a major shift, one that could reshape how Ghanaians move, work, study, and settle in the UK. But first, let's listen to Keir Starmer about his white paper.
So as this white paper sets out, every area of the immigration system, work, family and study, will be tightened up so we have more control. Skill requirements raised to degree level. English language requirements across all routes, including for dependents. The time it takes to acquire settled status extended from 5 years to 10. And enforcement tougher than ever, because fair rules must be followed. Now, make no mistake, this plan means migration will fall. That's a promise. But I want to be very clear on this. If we do need to take further steps, if we do need to do more to release pressure on housing and our public services, then mark my words, we will. But it's not just about numbers, because the chaos of the previous government also changed the nature of immigration in this country. Fewer people who make a strong economic contribution, more who work in parts of our economy that put downward pressure on wages. So perhaps the biggest shift in this white paper is that we will finally honour what take back control meant and begin to choose who comes here so that migration works for our national interest. You know, this is where the whole debate is skewed, as if some people think controlling immigration is reining in a sort of natural freedom, rather than the basic and reasonable responsibility of government to make choices that work for a nation's economy. And for years, this seems to have muddled our thinking. But let me be clear, it ends now. We will create a migration system that is controlled, selective, and fair. A clean break with the past that links access to visas directly to investment in homegrown skills. So that if a business wants to bring people in from abroad, they must first invest in Britain. But also, so settlement becomes a privilege that is earned, not a right. Easier if you make a contribution, if you work, pay in, and help rebuild our country. Now, some people may even be against that. But I think for the vast majority of people in this country, that is what they have long wanted to see. An immigration system that is fair, that works for our national interest, and that restores common sense and control to our borders. That is what this white paper will deliver. Lower net migration, higher skills, backing British workers. The start of repairing our social contract, which the chaos and cynicism of the last government did so much to undermine.
The Labour government has just unveiled the long-awaited immigration reforms white paper, as they have always been talking about. So finally, the elephant is here. And this white paper promises to make immigration more controlled, selective, and fair. But behind the language, there are sharp policy turns that would directly have an impact on you and me, such as skilled workers from Ghana and other countries, students hoping to stay on after post-graduation, those who rely on care and visa sponsorships, and the diaspora families like you and me, hoping to reunite and bring dependents to the UK. So it is a big issue. So stay tuned as we break it down bit by bit for everyone to understand what it entails and the impact it's going to have on you and me. There are 5 key areas that possibly will have much impact on us. So the first one will be around working visa and certificate of sponsorship, the social care visa, which has been scrapped, longer road to resettlement, and the international student also has been targeted. That's another area that we'll talk briefly. And what it means for we Ghanaians in diaspora. So these are the core areas that we're going to be touching, which is quite interesting. So stay tuned as I continue, things start to unfold. One of the most significant changes is that skilled workers will now need a degree level qualification. Once upon a time, that aspect wasn't there. So any skilled worker that might decide to come to the UK will need to have a first degree. That will be the minimum benchmark. As compared to the post-Brexit, that is lowering of the skill threshold. So what that means is that many Ghanaians applicants in sectors like the healthcare, construction, the hospitality may now be excluded if they don't meet the new criteria. Also, employers will still need to issue certificate of sponsorship, including mandatory training plans and dependent limit. For Ghanaians relying on these sponsorship routes, this tightens the gate considerably as compared to what we used to know. So just take note of these changes, and they mean business. The second bit that I said earlier on was to do with the social care visa, also gone. The dedicated care worker visa, as we used to know, we saw thousands and thousands of Ghanaians move to the UK post-COVID, as you all know. Will be close to new applicants from next month. Please take note. This is a major blow. This is a big issue. Ghanaians seeking accessible migration path, diaspora family members hoping to join their family in UK. The social care visa also is gone, scrapped. You know, this is the dedicated care worker visa. We saw thousands of my own Ghanaians move to the UK post-COVID. Actually, as Starmer said, this will be close to any new applicant from next month. So take note of the date. And this is a major blow because Ghanaians seeking accessible migration path, that is one of the pathways that we use. Diaspora family members hoping to support relatives through care roles. You know, some of us, we are very old over here and they need support. Now, getting someone from home to here to help even is going to be a challenge with a new policy that is about to take effect from next month. And to those already in the UK, can extend their visa until 2028 or switch sponsors. However, the new COS route will also disappear for care roles unless reclassified. So please take note and be on top of that by communicating or engaging with the right service providers, your lawyers and immigration advisors, and so just to be on top of that. Well, there's a talk of an end settlement system. The details are not clear for Ghanaians, and this means a longer wait for stability and security in this country, more uncertainty around future immigration status, and potentially will impact on your family reunification and long-term plans, because things are not clear. How long are you going to be here before that entitlement has been considered? Is it discretionary? Now, in regards to the international students, now for Ghanaian students, put it this way: post-study work visa. This has been reduced from 2 years to 18 months. 24 months to 18 months. Also, there has been a proposal of 6% tax on international student tuition, and that could rise. And what happened? Making UK education less accessible. A way of discouraging you and me coming to this country. And also, the pressure to leave earlier after studies. And this may reduce economic opportunities and dampens the long-term plans for you to hang around, for you to stay, because they are making life so much uncomfortable for us to go back. But I hope our politicians are taking notice of this, to make the place better so that we can come and add value to our society than to struggle somewhere. So, where do we come in here? What is the impact? And it means to we diaspora, people like me and you who lives over here. This new policy approach will limit opportunities for many aspiring migrants from Ghana. It will also increase the financial burden on international students that might require a higher qualification and stronger English proficiency, even for dependents. Potentially, will lead to a drop in certificate of sponsorship issued for mid-skilled jobs, especially in care and hospitality. It will really have an impact in our community. It will. Surely it will. Now, for Ghanaians already in the UK, this could also slow down, one, our family reunification, which I said earlier on. Also, this will affect our long-term planning for settlement and push more people into the visa uncertainty. But for those back home, those in Ghana, I believe UK is becoming less accessible. Really less accessible destination, especially for blue-collar or mid-scale workers. And there will be a greater competition and cost just to qualify to come in. Will it worth it? Anyway, the UK immigration doors is not closing entirely, but it is narrowing. Labour message is clear and simple. We want fewer, higher skilled and more economically contributive migrants in here. Not just any ordinary person. And that is their message. And I hope we are getting it. I hope our government are getting it. And I hope we've taken notice of that. As a member of the Ghanaian diaspora, we must stay informed and advocate for fair, humane, and equitable immigration system. And for those seeking to migrate, my advice to you, plan smarter, scale up, and explore alternative pathways, including even Canada, Europe, and other remote global opportunities. This is the diaspora hustle, bridging the gap between the policy and the people it affects. If you found this useful, subscribe and share. Stay tuned for more breakdown on what matters to Ghanaians' global community. Until next time, keep hustling globally and purposefully. My name is Wesley.